have to tell you, I'm a fan of yours.
I'm a fan too. I have notes written.
Dude, shut up. I have.
Yo, yes, yes. Wait,
Yeah.
so when did Ritter come into the picture?
I made my web series, and then I did the Spotted Med, and then I started doing Hamlet.
Okay.
And I was, and it was at this little storefront theater.
But Hamlet as...
I was Hamlet, yeah.
I just want to make sure everyone knew that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
It's a
played
big deal.
And
Yeah.
we both know, in terms of like Shakespeare canon-wise, I mean, Hamlet's, I guess, like speaking role is second only to like Richard III, I think.
I think that's right. I want to Google that, but my computer's being weird. But yes.
And so, without editing, it's like a 4-hour show. But anyway, it was a dream role. So I was like, I got to do this.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was finishing up the web series, meaning post production, figuring out where we were gonna have the premiere, all that kind of stuff. I had just shot the thing for Med, and then I was like knee deep in playing Hamlet, right? And I was broke, dude. Like, because in order to make my web series happen, I couldn't work. Like, I was 8 different jobs.
Yeah, you had too much going on.
And so then I did this. I spent the summer doing Hamlet. I was burnt out. I had one more show that I was gonna do, and then I was gonna like call it quits, like dead ass. Like I was like, I had the conversation with myself. I was like about to call my agent, be like, stop sending me on auditions, because I looked around and I was like, I'm doing all of this art and it's great, and I'm broke. Like I have
I can't do anything.
I have no money. So when I got the call from like my agents that Claire Simon wanted to see me for something, it was actually for a role on Chicago PD. And then she was like, she pulled me aside afterwards. She's like, I actually think you're going to be perfect for this other role. So I'm just going to send you in, be on the lookout. And then I got the sides for Ritter. And it was maybe like 2 days later or something like that I went into the room, and I walk in, right? And to be entirely candid with you, I was like, I'm not gonna get this. I don't know what magic in the universe there was, but when I tell you that I killed that audition, like I've never felt that way about any audition that I've done. Like seriously, I've never felt that way.
Also, I've said I killed it to 2 auditions, and both of those auditions were auditions I booked. I've never said it otherwise. Yeah.
But see, and I haven't said that for stuff that I have booked, so I don't even know. I don't know. But I went in and I did the thing, and I walked out, and I felt good, but I was still like, I need to go work in a restaurant to make some money. You know, I was like,
yeah, I feel you.
I got a call 2 days later, and it was like, hey, you're the one, we're gonna do it. And then a day after that, I was like in costumes. A day after that, I was like training, and it was originally, Ritter was supposed to be, I think, maybe like a 3-episode arc or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude,
so supposed to be...
congrats, man.
Thank you. Dude,
yeah.
Look, friggin' Chicago kid, doing the thing, and I'm really proud of myself, but like, yeah, ultimately it was just a situation where I was like, I'm done, but then the world was like, no, you're not. So I guess, and now it's like, so it was supposed to be 3 episodes, and now it's 3 years. So like that.
That's...
But to answer your OG question, my first time being on set was nuts, dude. I was so intimidated. I actually, I had met, because so first of all, I was late. I was late my first day on set.
That's already like
4:30 a.m. or whatever.
Oh.
Because Ritter's introduction, he gets like sort of blown back in this super high-rise fire thing.
Dude, I remember watching your episode. And then Mount talks you down on the stairs.
Yeah. And I shot that day, but all day, like I think I met Miranda first, and then I met like, Taylor and everyone else. And so people would be like, so who are you? Right? That thing. They'd be like, so what's going on? Super warm, everyone's super like, great, but they're like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be playing, all shy. I'm gonna be playing Ritter. Blah, blah. And then everybody gets this look in their eyes. They're like, oh, so you're the one that's going to have the scene with Stolte. I was like, They're like, yeah, oh, he's the greatest actor of our
The
generation.
greatest actor of our generation.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, and like literally everyone said this, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to see this. Like, you're gonna. So I'm freaking out, mind you. And we're in a stairwell, and you know the that's just like stand over there, do this, pick this up, go this way, move, you know, the hose, and I'm like trying to do all the things, and it was like there's smoke and there's a bunch of bodies and I'm wearing a tank and it's like 100 degrees and there's fire and there's 4 cameras like moving. So it was just like this whole chaotic, but like it was the most ordered chaos I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Like our show
it's a
is
smooth machine. And
that everything was in place where it was supposed to be, and also so much was happening. And so for me, going from my little indie set where I'm like, okay guys, we have all day to get this one take, so let's take our time to like Reza like yelling and there's lights and all the things. It was a little bit of a culture shock a little bit. But
do you remember being on film sets where as an actor, like sometimes you'd have to hold your own bounce? You ever have to do that? If you have like it's here, it's a close up, so you can hold your left. Is that good? Okay, cool.
Right, yeah. Okay, now act, cry, go. Like holding the friggin' can't move.
Because that was one of the things that I thought was like the most is like incredibly impressive about joining the Chicago world was just like the efficiency of the machine. While like they have, like you said, they have fire and smoke and dudes running around in tanks, and it still is like it feels very ordered.
And everybody's doing their piece.
Yeah,
that's the most amazing part about being on the show for me. I guess I can't really consider myself like a newer like actor like at all, I guess, but like in so many ways, like I feel and I feel like I'll also probably feel like this for the rest of my life, but like just this thing of like there's so much to learn, because there really is, if you're paying attention and looking around, there's always something. Like I've been on Fire for, this is my 3rd season now, and I feel like I still like am learning. I'm still learning things.
I think that's one of the reasons why we got along so well, because like I know that you're what's one of my phrases that I like? You're a curious artist that is constantly seeking out information.
And so are you. But I think that the thing that I appreciate about you is that you have this sort of like, because this is so great that we get to have this conversation.
For real.
Like I also see you work, like I get to see you work, but you have this sort of like dogged determination for like detail that like I feel like is so, it's so, I love watching that, because I feel like, as like, if we're talking process, like I feel like I'm a little more chaotic than that. Like because like if I fixate too much on details, I feel like I lose the thing. But I feel like you found a really good balance, and it's because I think too, and maybe it's your training. Like my training was a little more sporadic, in my opinion. Like I feel like a lot of what has become my process, I've essentially stolen from other people from watching them and whatever.
Same way, man. I feel the same way.
My foundation, academically speaking, wasn't I wasn't ready for it at the time. So I learned a lot by doing, and I get to watch like you and like Eamon and like David Eigenberg's nuts, process. But that's you're also really generous with your process. I feel like because you're not precious about showing your work at the workplace. I don't, if that makes sense. And like not on camera. Like you're organic and like beautiful on camera, but you're not afraid to like show this sort of, I don't know, like the bare bones, I guess, of
I feel like I get that because, again, like walking into this show, you know it. Like you never know what type of cast or set you're coming onto. Like you never know what the vibe is going to be like. I haven't had a lot of experience, but I've had a couple where I'm like, okay, this set isn't as open, or this like one of the shows I did, there was one person that I was like, that's a very negative vibe. So I can see how it's feeding into the rest of this production and like the way that colors everything. So
just like, you mean like just being like unkind or ungenerous, or like
both unkind and ungenerous. So you're like, oh, and then I come to this show where every person is extremely kind and extremely generous, and it's actually like, I think it's awesome that it's promoted. Like they're like, hey, so we're a bunch of actors that love acting and we love doing it. So we like when new actors come in, and as long as you love acting and love, like, these days are hard, they're long. You're gonna be wearing a lot of stuff, but we're all kind of in it together. Yeah. So like, we have a great time, and I don't know. I felt super comfortable to immediately be more of an artist and less of like a professional. Does that make sense?
Say that one more time.
Like, be more of an artist in the sense of like what I want to do with certain things. I feel really comfortable taking chances and exploring and saying like, oh, I don't know how this line is going to land because of this moment, but I'm going to take the freedom because I know that everyone here is there. Everyone's in the point, so to speak.
That part. It is definitely that part. I, like you were talking and I said, it's the freedom. It is.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I feel like the environment of our set, it really, I guess it encourages you to kind of lean in. You know what I mean? Like, lean in that way where it's like, okay, let's do one where let's do one where you take the risk, you do the thing, you do the crazy thing that you made up in your head when you were working on the script at home, but there's an opportunity to try it. And then the really cool part is that, like, I feel, because I'm speaking from experience, I've done it. We've done it. And then it makes it in the cut. It makes it on the show. And it's like, I feel like sitting at home sometimes, maybe you get the feeling of the connection of the family, of the magic, but it may not be necessarily able to pinpoint where it comes from, but it's those moments more often than it isn't, where we get to be human.
Because we have those small instances where our ideas are being put into the show, we're like, oh, they validate us as people. They're excited for us. They're as excited for us to be working here as we are excited to be working with them.
Yeah,
that's my favorite takeaway.
Yeah. Dude, do you feel like you have, is there that one part of like your process, a bad habit? I guess I'm asking.
Do I have a bad habit? Absolutely. Yeah. I have tons of bad habits.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
This is where I don't know if I want this to be
super like unspecific question, but like
but I know exactly what you mean. I think there's a lot of I don't know if I want to be on record saying this, but like, I think there's a lot of like, fake it till you make it, in terms of like also confidence with your own process and yourself. Like, this is my process until I realize it doesn't work, or it works, and then I keep taking what works and keep what doesn't, just throwing it back over my shoulder. And I feel like my bad habit is I don't know.
Tell me, like, you don't have to like tell me specifically what your bad habit, you know what I mean, is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like the things that I know I try to check off the list. Like, when I get to set, I want to make sure I'm prepared, which doesn't just mean I know my lines. It means I know my lines, I know your lines, and I know the story. And that's like the most important thing for me, is the story. Like, what's the scene about? Not like, I come in, Ritter tells me you have to cook. I don't want to cook. It's like, well, what's this, like, I don't know. I always like trying to figure out what's deeper than that, or like.
But are you saying that like the process of you trying to do all of those things is the bad habit, or that's the good?
I don't know. Depends. I think sometimes it can be like, you don't have to do so much work here. Like, you can, and I think this show also lends itself to being like, you could actually show up to a conference, like one of our big conference room sets, and have like just your moment before, and then let everything else come from the people and the relationships you've decided. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like I can say, all right, I'm coming from this room to grab this, and we have our meeting with Bowden where everyone comes and gets the brief of the day, right, in the morning. I like coming into that a little bit, not unprepared, because I hate being unprepared, but
I hear what you're saying.
You like to leave
no
set ideas, nothing, because I like to see, Stolte does this. I like to look over there because I know camera's going to be here. I want them to catch me seeing that. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll use that look for a different part of the scene, but I've recognized what Stolte's doing is hilarious to me. So I want to play with that for this take. And then there's so much opportunity because we have so many people that are all doing amazingly, like, they're all doing amazing work in every take. Like, everyone, regardless of who's on camera. So I feel like,
For sure.
I don't know, bad habits, that's a really good question. I have to think about that. But
okay, just,
yeah, what about
like,
yours? do you have one?
Dude, I have plenty. I have so many. My bad habits is like, I want to be liked. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a person, dude,
and as an artist, like, I want people to like me on screen. I don't want them to say we don't want to see that guy anymore.
yeah, like I want people to like me. I want people to love me, and I feel like sometimes like that can actually get in the way a little bit because I feel like I then have to be like, okay, cool, but like, and I do think this about Ritter too. By the way, like I think that my character, I think that there's so much that we haven't talked about that now we'll have an opportunity, you know, to explore a little bit more. But I feel like there's stuff there, you know. Under
I mean, you're saying all of this, and immediately I'm thinking that I know something that I have to be aware of is my vanity coming into it. Like, because with certain characters, they're allowed to be more vain than others. Like, I think Gallo's pretty cocky, so he's allowed to have a little more vanity to him. So I'm allowed to kind of bring that in more. Yeah. But I have to be aware of when I'm doing it for me and when I'm doing it for him. Like, when am I trying to look good here, and rather than live that moment and that experience and let that just be enough, you know?
It's funny because, like, as you say that, I feel like I know that Ritter clocks that. I feel like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like in the Gallo Ritter relationship, it's always just kind of like, dude, you know what I mean? And which I appreciate that little bit of like. That little bit of tug of war between them, because I think that's what actually creates a little bit the like.
And for me, that's been like a tentpole that helps me see Gallo as more and be like, oh, okay, I see you now.
Everybody's a reflection. You know what I mean? Just if you're paying attention, you can begin to see the picture of you like through that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, but so my bad habit is that like I want to be liked, and so that makes me more unwilling to fail. Which you know we can't really do our because people fail. I fail. You know, so if I'm sitting here showing up to work being like, well, I'll be damned if I fail, then what's real about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that for me, like as an actor, I know that I'm constantly working on trying to overcome, because it's just like, the thing about it is like, if you look good all the time, then that's not a person.
No. And then like, I think it makes people harder to be like, oh, I see me in that person. If they're too real, if they're not real, if they're too shiny.
Yes. Yeah. And we, you know, in the world of first responders, like meaning in the world of our show, like there have been examples, because like, I mean, look, coping, like, how do you do this job? Like, I feel like I'm still trying to figure that out, which I think is good. You know, I think it's good that I'm still, how do you get up every day? And then like, because you also have to kind of rewire your basic instinct as a human, which means like you're running towards a fire
when everyone else is running away.
Every time you're running towards a fire, you know? And so getting into that, and it's like, yeah, you got to have some stuff going on to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You have to, you know?
But then their outlook is all, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like we're really lucky to be around the people we're around when we're like learning to do all of this. I'm sure you've heard like even Chick's story of like when he figured out he wanted to be a firefighter. It was one of the coolest stories I've ever heard.
I don't know if I know it.
Essentially, he was doing a different job, and there was a fire next door that he saw, and he was like, all these people are leaving, and then I saw these crazy dudes running into the fire, and he was like, that's for me. And I'm like, how? You incredible superhuman. Like,
so dope. That's so weird and dope, and like heroic, you know? And like, I think and also I think the thing that excites me the most about working on our show in particular is it's like I forget who I was talking to when I was talking about this before, but I feel like sometimes for me the thing that I have to kind of like move out of my way when I'm going to work is it's like this idea of like the hero, right? It's essentially the thing that we're talking about in terms of like things being too shiny. Um,
Hmm.
what's most interesting and what's also most true, right, is and this is why I speak about coping too, right? Because like what is like this firefighter's when he's off duty? What is his relationship to alcohol? What is his
Yeah.
relationship to like escapism? Or is he just like in the grid all the time? Like what does that look like? And so it becomes it takes the sort of the hero, right? And that's still there. The hero
Yeah.
is still there, and it deepens it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
so I'm always doing the work of trying to deepen and sort of make the heroic three dimensional because these are people. You know, they're human beings.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think that's one of the cool things that the show does is like they let us be people, and then they give us the circumstances that we rise to as first responders.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah,
And
that's pretty cool.
that's what's thrilling to watch. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and fun to do.
We as the audience know
Fun,
the risk of what they're about to undertake,
yeah.
what they're about to do, and they
Yeah.
still do it. That's I don't know. Dude, I'm like really happy that I came on the show when I did, and that like we
Me
became
too.
friends.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
both our characters and then us. Like I feel very lucky.
How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? So, okay. Well, I mean, I guess you just said it. I was gonna ask
I
you
feel very lucky, man. I feel
about
like,
like bromance, about the Ritter Gallo bromance. I
oh,
mean,
dude, I think it's dope. Like,
yeah,
I think I think it's actually like something we're seeing in a theme a lot in the world is that we have this younger generation that's poised, that's aware, that's on top of things and very proficient, and are ready to take more of the responsibility of the world. And we're seeing slowly that kind of happen, whether or not willingly. You know, I
yeah,
feel like we're seeing that in the firehouse where these two guys are coming in, kind of showing the rest of the firehouse that things have changed a little bit, and we're the ones. And it's really cool and like exciting to be a part of that. This new, like they say, the younger generation.
yeah.
That
Well, and
yeah
it's cool because I feel like the thing that's most the thing that is like coolest about the two of them is all the ways in which they're different. You know
yeah
what I mean? And
yeah.
all the ways in which they are different are so in sync. You
It's
know
an
what I
odd couple
mean?
for sure.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
I just yeah, I enjoy that part of it and leaning into it and continuing to find the ways in which they're different because I feel like the more that you lean into that, the more you come right back around
Back
and it's
around to the things that bring them together, which
exactly,
is
exactly.
yeah. I mean, yeah. What about you? Like, so you've been on the show for 3 years. I've been on for one.
Mhm.
How has it evolved since you've been on? Like, how has the show itself changed? Has it changed? I mean, but when you came on, if it was 3 years, it was season 5, season 6.
Seventh. I came well, so this is my third year. So
Okay, so 7, 8, 9.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I mean, I get well, I mean,
has it? I mean,
I guess for me, like it's always been so like multiplicitous, so like multi-layered that I always I tend to still feel really wide-eyed whenever I show up on set. Like
yeah,
just my own that's my interiority, you know. And so like I was saying, there's always new stuff, and so I just feel like it's kind of like ever shifting and ever evolving and ever changing. And I mean, you know, we've got the story of the week. We've got our thing that we do in the niche that we fit into. But I think the most exciting is when we do bring me on or you on, and we see how we interact with the other folks and how they change as a result of that, and like vice versa. So
yeah,
it just feels like a living and breathing kind of like mechanism that is growing as we do. you know.
Yeah.
But like, if you were asking me to point out any concrete changes, I don't know, not yet. Maybe this will be
Well,
the
that's just
year.
something I'm always. I feel like everyone learns from every season. They learn at least something, and I'm curious. Like, I'm excited to see, other than all of the, the COVID adaptations we've had to make. And I'm wondering if there are any other changes that aren't going to be as obvious that I'll start to notice the longer I'm with everyone. To be on a show like this has always been kind of a dream. Like, to be on some this active, but also representing the community that I feel like people need to know more about what firefighters do and the benefit they are to community.
Seriously, yeah.
So like every facet of that, I'm really excited about. Like it checked off a lot of boxes in that sense. Like, I'm telling stories for people that deserve to have them told. I'm getting to play one of these people and then learn about the humanity within what we often cloak with like heroism, like we've been talking about. I get to be physically active, which is always something I'm excited about. And since we're the younger guys now, we're taking on like a lot of that, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be
wild. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I've been like in my building's gym with my mask and being like, I gotta get this cardio in. I'm excited.
Did you feel like you had to change your workout regimen on the show?
Yeah, I had to start working out.
I had to start doing a lot more cardio because we'd be running upstairs with the gear on, and then they'd be like, all right, let's reset, and I'd be like, okay.
Well, dude, yeah, and I'm an asthmatic, so it's kind of I'm like the nerd in the corner that's just we're in between. Okay, so I've essentially had to start conditioning myself so that I could do this job.
Well, at least you had an excuse. I was aggravated.
I had to start like getting my lungs under control to like make this happen for sure.
Oh, dude, we've been talking for a while.
Really? What time is it?
We'll continue this interview over drinks at a bar at some point.
Well, that's like like a
outside
year.
maybe.
Somewhere, yeah.
Probably run into you one of these days at the testing site.
Yeah, I am actually counting on it. I ran into Randy and David today, and I didn't realize how much I missed those dudes until.
Yeah, I saw Tony Present today. So weird.
Yeah.
Dude, great talking to you, man. Thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah, thank you, dude. Thanks for being open and honest with me. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Cool. So that's that, and we'll see the rest of y'all on Wednesdays starting in November. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I almost nailed that.
I think we did, right?
Yeah.
How did we do?
All right, cool. I'm out. I'm gonna go, drink some wine or something.
Same. I'm gonna go eat. Oh, nailed it. Perfect.
All right. Peace out. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.